Now we are going to the second part of the functional columns of cranial nerves. So we have finished the efferent part. Now we are going to the afferent part. So in afferent columns, we have got four functional columns. One is GVA, general, visceral, afferent. Then you have got SVA, special, visceral, afferent. Then GSA, general, somatic, afferent, and special, somatic, afferent. Fine. So once you know the details of each, read that: the GVA, SVA, GSA, and SSA. So one thing is, on either side of the sulcus limitans, you are appreciating the sulcus limitans, you see the general, visceral, efferent, and close to that, the other side, the green structure, that is the general, visceral, afferent. So afferent and efferent GV lies on either side of the sulcus limitans. Fine. So now we are going to the first column, general, visceral, afferent. So it's very easy. General, visceral, afferent and special, visceral, afferent, both GVA and SVA are represented by one single nucleus, and that is the nucleus of solitary tract. Fine. And then you find the general sensation is general, visceral, afferent. So the afferent means it is the general sensations. The general sensation from the viscera is being carried by 9th and 10th cranial nerve into this nucleus of solitary tract, which is actually representing the GVA column. Okay, so GVA means it is the afferent sensation or general sensation from the viscera is projecting into the nucleus of solitary tract via the 9 and 10 cranial nerves. Then you have got the special visceral afferent, SVA. I already said it is also being represented by the same nucleus, the nucleus of tractus solitarius. But here it is SVA, special visceral afferent. So it is a special sensation. To be more precise, it is the taste sensation. Special taste sensation from the viscera. Why it is categorized as viscera, do you know? That is because the taste buds and epithelium of tongue, that is endoderm in origin, hence visceral. So special visceral afferent, afferent means sensory, is also represented by the same nucleus, the nucleus of solitary tract. But the difference is the taste sensation is being carried by 3 nerves, 7, 9 and 10. The other was by 9 and 10 alone. Here it is by 7, 9 and 10. You have already studied this. The taste sensation from the anterior 2/3 was by 7th nerve. Posterior 1/3, 9th nerve. Posterior most part it was by 10th nerve. So SVA by 7, 9 and 10th nerve is then projecting into the nucleus of tractus solitarius. So you see what marked as green, they are the solitary tract on either side, and then you see these two tracts are actually joined in the middle, in the lower part, by the commissural fibers or commissural nucleus, not fiber, commissural nucleus of vagus. And this nucleus of solitary tract, the upper part or rostral part, is actually termed as the gustatory nucleus. Fine. And this gustatory nucleus is actually receiving the special visceral afferent sensation, that is a taste sensation from 7, 9, 10. General visceral sensation from 9 and 10 is actually projecting into the lower part, that marked as light green, that region of the solitary tract. Or in short, GVA and SVA is represented by the nucleus of solitary tract. That's clear to you? Okay. So now, next component, you know, special visceral afferent, nucleus of solitary tract carried via the 7, 9 and 10. So it is actually what? The taste sensation from viscera. Why categorized as viscera? Because the epithelium of the tongue and the taste buds are endoderm in origin. Fine. Now we come to the third component of afferent, that is general somatic afferent. So that means the general sensation from the outer body wall, outer surface. So the cranial nerve that is concerned with general somatic afferent is trigeminal nerve. Do you remember the trigeminal nerve have got a cutaneous innervation in face? So the general sensation from the face, that region, is being carried by the trigeminal nerve, and it is being projecting into three sensory nucleus you find in the trigeminal nerve. That is the main sensory nucleus. Then you have got the mesencephalic nucleus, and then the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. So these are the three nucleus which is actually representing the general somatic afferent column. Afferent means sensory, the general sensation from the outer wall, that is in the region of face, is carried by the trigeminal nerve into the three nucleus. What are they? The chief sensory nucleus, mesencephalic nucleus, spinal nucleus. So chief sensory nucleus, the touch and pressure will be projected there. Then you have got the spinal nucleus where you find the pain and temperature will be projected there. The mesencephalic nucleus, the proprioceptive impulse, that is from the extraocular muscles and muscles of mastication. From that, the proprioceptive impulse will be projecting into the mesencephalic nucleus. So look at the diagram. You are seeing the brain stem there, the midbrain, pons and medulla. Then in the pons, you are seeing the main or chief sensory nucleus marked in yellow. Are you seeing the chief sensory nucleus? Okay. Then projecting above from the sensory nucleus into the midbrain, you have got the mesencephalic nucleus. Are you seeing the mesencephalic nucleus? Then extending from the chief sensory nucleus into the medulla, you find the spinal nucleus. So what happens is, the chief sensory nucleus is responsible for pressure and touch, the spinal nucleus for pain and temperature, and mesencephalic for the proprioceptive impulse. So for this main sensory and spinal nucleus, when you're tracing the pathway, what happens is the first order neuron will be lying in the trigeminal ganglion. So the peripheral process will be carrying the sensation. The central process will be extending into this main sensory nucleus and spinal nucleus. From there you have got the second order neurons which will be projecting into the thalamus, BPM of thalamus, ventroposteromedial column. From the nucleus of thalamus you find the third order, from there projecting into the sensory cortex. That is how you trace the pathway for the sensation. Or in short, you find the GSA component being represented by the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve, the sensory nucleus of trigeminal nerve, and mesencephalic nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Now we come to the last component, special somatic afferent, represented by the vestibulocochlear nerve mainly. Split that sentence and say it is afferent, so of course sensory, special sensation that concerned with the balance, special sensation, but still it is categorized as somatic. Why do you know? Because there are certain structures such as membranous labyrinth, they are all derived from ectoderm, so it is categorized as somatic. So special somatic afferent, represented by what all nucleus? The vestibulocochlear nucleus, plus you find optic and oculomotor, olfactory and optic, that is the first and second is representing the SSA component. So now it's very easy, name the structures or name the different nuclei that you find in special somatic afferent. Special means that concerned with the balance, special sensations, afferent sensations, somatic. Why? Because there are certain structures which are derived from ectoderm. So special somatic afferent, they are the vestibular nucleus and cochlear nucleus, olfactory, that is the first two, optic, these are the nucleus that is categorized under these four, this one. So with that we finish the four columns, afferent columns. Hope it is very clear to you. GSA, what are the structures? Or we'll start with the first one, very close to the sulcus limitans. very close to the sulcus emittens, you find the first component, that is GVA. Then you had SVA, represented by what? Nucleus of solitary tract. Then you have got the GSA, general somatic afferent. What is that? That is a 3 nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Then SSA, special somatic afferent. What is that? The vestibular, cochlear, olfactory and optic. So with that we finish these columns. Now try to answer these questions. Before to that, you are seeing the sulcus limitans, you are seeing the 4 column, the first green and the second one together, the SVA and GVA, represented by the nucleus of solitary tract as green. Are you seeing that? The next one is GSA, general somatic afferent, by the 3 nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Then last one SSA, where you find the vestibular, the cochlear nucleus. Then you find a small contribution from optic and 1 and 2, olfactory and optic. So with that we finish the different columns. Now try to answer these questions. The nuclei representing the special visceral afferent column is what? It is the nucleus of tractus solitarius. Good. Next one. The proprioceptive impulses from the muscles of mastications are projecting to which nuclei of the following? Which one is the answer? Is it main sensory, mesencephalic, spinal nucleus or trochlear nucleus? What is the answer? It is the mesencephalic nucleus of trigeminal nerve. So I think with that you know the different efferent and afferent columns. Fine. So I think I'll stop here. Okay, thank you.